When I speak to players who are about to start playing a D&D campaign or even a one-shot, you very much divide into two categories of people. You either really enjoy making characters, and chances are you have about 7 backup characters for every character you ever play in a campaign, or you look at the situation as a bit of an ominous blank slate. The books are huge. There are loads of classes, loads of subclasses, loads of multi-classes, loads of races. What are you going to do? Well, here's a couple of tips for making a good character. Now, it's very true that putting effort into your character is an important step, but it's not everything. It's very possible to over-prepare a character. Vague is best. This is a very good golden rule. If you turn up to a new campaign, or even a pre-worked module like Curse of Strahd, or Elemental Evil, Princes of Apocalypse, whatever it's going to be, you thrive off vague backstories. Put a couple of lines down, say, I was a soldier, I don't remember my past, my parents were killed, just something, but really random stuff. Give the DM something to play off. The vaguer the better, actually. If somebody comes to me with a backstory and says, I know roughly what I want to happen, but I haven't really worked the details out yet, that's great. You've given me an open book, effectively. We can play the campaign. I always have it in the back of my head, this is going to be roughly what the character's backstory is, and something might happen 15 episodes down the line that makes me think, there we go, that's something for me to play with. If you turn up with a 17-page manual, a 3-page family tree with 17 generations of your family, that's fine, that's great, but you're going to only be the person that really truly understands that. I'm going to do my best to read through your backstory and apply it as I can into whatever campaign I'm running. But sometimes you can shoehorn yourself into being so specific, you frighten anybody else into trying to stop, into actually adopting and developing your backstory. Don't make it so closed off that no one else can get in. And please remember, you're not the only player at the table. There are going to be other PCs with all of their own backstories and tropes. Listen to what they're saying. Try and get involved in the backstories of the other characters as much as you would want people to get involved with yours. If you've got a great idea that's lycanthropy, it's some way enveloped into your family's dark and dangerous backstory and you want to get people involved with it, that's fine, but don't let it ignore the fact that somebody's trying to drop hints every session that they have a long-lost twin. Listen to the other characters and spend more time helping them with their backstories than you try and put in on your backstory, and I can guarantee the DM and the other players will notice it and reciprocate it later down the line. The best parties are the ones that gel together and help each other in anything the characters want to do, not 5 different edgelords with shady backgrounds that don't talk to each other. It's such a common issue with D&D, and one that I see quite often. Be generous. Possibly the biggest piece of advice I could give you with any character's backstory and the way that you treat any character is never treat them as disposable as long as you can. Even if you're the sort of person that has 57 different ideas of paladin, druid, cleric, gunslinger, alchemist crossovers, and you have 99 backup ideas on top of those 57 ideas, so you don't mind if your character dies. Don't bring that sort of mentality to the table. It's amazing how much of D&D, in terms of its mechanics, the way the DM runs a campaign, and how other PCs treat you, relies on the one crucial aspect that you want your character to get to the end of their campaign. If you know you're going into a dungeon and there's going to be 8 monsters, you get 2 short rests, so you're going to have to allocate your spells, and you go charging in, and on the first 2 encounters you burn every single spell slot and everything, because you know if your character dies, you're just going to get a new one thrown into the campaign, because at the end of the day, people want you to play. It's a terrible way to take things. Treat your character as if you want them to last the rest of the campaign. The reason this is an important point is that if you come across as overly reckless in D&D, and reckless, by the way, is not being brave. Sometimes D&D can get a little bit stuck on perception checks and having to never go through dungeons because you think every door's trapped. I get that. Brave is a good thing. But reckless destroys campaigns. If other PCs, other people around the table are looking at your character and they know that you as a person don't care if your character survives, what does it tell them? It means that you don't care if anybody else survives. They're not going to put trust in you. They might really like their character, so when you go in guns blazing on that massive ogre that is clearly too difficult an encounter for you, you're just ruining it for everybody. And the DM might spend hours and hours on this session trying to make sure that everybody enjoys it. If you don't treat it seriously because you know you don't care if you survive, that's a horrible, horrible thing to bring to the table.